Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be looking at, you guessed it, Android 17 again, well Super 17, on a fusion team. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I recorded this bit after I'd actually played the games because I completely forgot to record it prior. So you'll notice Vegito's equipment's a bit poo. Yeah, this was just a team that I had to like complete the challenge rush and all that stuff. And well, I didn't exactly put the best equipment on Vegito. So, well, I mean, you can see the equipment on everyone else as I'm showing you now, and well, yeah, that's the team. But at least here I can show you what equipment I should have put on him, because at least here he gets blast attack, special move damage, and strike attack buffs, and crit. So, well, that's what I should have used. But we're going into the games with the equipment that I had already. So, bear in mind, I mean, Vegito is incredible either way. Everyone knows this, and, I mean, realistically, it didn't really make that big a difference, but it might in the next few games I decide to play. So, this team has literally, again, got 3 cover changing units, just like the androids did. I have Super Vegito for the strike challenge counter. I have Android 13 for the strike challenge counter, and just because he's an absolute nutter tank, he's amazing. And I have, for the blast attacks, I have 17, just as we have there. So, this team, as good as it is very... Look at that damage, 1 blue card. I'm so glad I kept the equipment on, buffing his special move damage. As good as this team is, it does come down to luck. Because your opponents, if you come up against, I mean, it doesn't matter who you come up against. If you come up against someone who knows what they're doing and keeps track of exactly who you have on the field, who's on your bench, and how long their cooldown is. For example, if I've just brought in 17 and I switch out to someone else, they'll know, if they're good enough, they'll know that he can't bring in 17, so I'm going to stick to blast card because he can counter me with Super Vegito still. So, that is something I encountered throughout these games. Is you do have to rely on luck a little bit. Or if you're just patient, let your units take a bit of damage. And yeah, so I decided to bring in 13 here. I actually wanted to bring in earlier, and a lot of the time I decided to bring in my unit. They just... I miss the unit. I click in between each of my bench units, which irritates me so much because most of the time I would have actually gotten it right. Anyway, I decided to go for a green. I don't know why, I just did. And, I mean, he had one in his hand. Unfortunately, it wasn't the right card. But guess what? He tanks the hit. Super 17 actually tanks it. Now, unfortunately, I didn't actually mean to click there, I'm not gonna lie. Now, I had to get out of the way of that or it would have killed me. And I decided to go for a green. Unfortunately, I tried to take a chance, it didn't work. So, we're basically 2v3 in this game. So, this game's rough, guys. I mean, we have Super Vegito left. Thankfully, we have the heals for both of them left. No, we don't. I don't even think we have Super Vegito's heal left. Now, here, he brings in his cover cut, that doesn't matter. I mean, he's type disadvantaged, so what? He's got a Super Saiyan buff, so Android 13 fused still does some really decent enough damage. And we get the feint! The absolute clutch of a feint. And so, Vegito actually did have his main ability, so I decided, you know what, I'm not going to waste my rush on this Goku, because the other two are just as tanky, and I really need Super Vegito to rush them. Thankfully, we get one of the worst ones out of the way. Super Saiyan Goku is out of the way. Now I decide to go for the blue, see if I can bait him into the Rising Rush. But I didn't manage to. So instead, I just go for the rush, because even if he brings in his red, I'm actually so keen to get rid of base form Vegito, it's actually nuts. I hate facing him, purely because of how much of a tank he is. He is insanely tanky. I mean, all that damage from Super Vegito, and we just managed to take him out. Yes, it was 2.2 million damage in the Rising Rush at the end of the day, but that's still, like, insane. Now, this is a really clutch moment in the game, and he was playing well. I mean, this guy was good. I did make some very bad decisions, but I mean, he took advantage of them, so fair play. Thankfully, he does not evade that, and we go straight in for the win, and he forfeits before it can end. I don't know why, it would have been one more strike card, but what a sick comeback, what a sick game. That was just incredible. So, Let's see what we can do in game 2. So we jump straight into game 2, and we come up against an androids matchup. Now, I did lead right. I did lead with the right the lineup to counter the 13, because I knew he was going to lead with him. Unfortunately, he played well in terms of using his blast card first, and I should have been more patient as to know he would have done that. Thankfully, we don't get hit with that paralysis, because, yeah, we managed to just counter him. This guy's very, very good at waiting for the side steps, so I'll give him credit where credit's due. And, you see, that's what I'm talking about luck. If I switched in 17 there, his combo would have been over. But I didn't actually manage to, so unfortunately that didn't happen, and we get rushed. But in this scenario, I'm not at all worried, because, I mean, it's Super 17 versus 13, and I mean, he's type disadvantage, so even if he gets the rush through, it's not going to do any damage. And there you go, I was going to go green, and I left it to the computer choice, so if you're watching this game by any slim chance, just know that I got really lucky in this part of the game. Now, I had a strategy here is to go and evade and use my blue card because it's AoE, he can't evade out of it. But unfortunately, I didn't expect the damn shoulder tackle, or at least I was hoping I wouldn't get it. And unfortunately, it did happen. So again, he used a blast card, so I didn't manage to get out of it. And you'll notice in these games, I decide to bring in my red Android 13 to cover cut most of the time. Because, lovely, 2 choices. To cover cut most of the time because I'd rather have Super Vegito as a fallback in case anything should go wrong. So, he used his green card, which nullified some of the damage of the Rising Rush. And I mean 15k, really? And here I wanted to go for taps. I only tapped it once. Every time I only tap it once and go for a swipe sideways, it always registers a 2. It's very, very annoying. But, I mean, it is what it is. We switch in Super 17 because he's going to take no damage, like I said, from this blue 13. Oh, yeah. And managed to get out. Look at the blast damage. It's not that great. But when you use a couple of green cards or green card every now and then, that damage does drastically increase. And I've had it where this Super 17 does some incredible damage against the blue card. Blue unit, and I mean, I'm pretty sure it was in the previous game where that happened. So I've got a nice assortment of green cards in my hand, and I was actually hoping you'd throw another blast card my way, and just get out of the way. You see, it was just very poor timing from me, which is very unfortunate. And luckily, we get the feint, but, I mean the paralyze, but unluckily, the timing is just insane. He got very, very lucky there, but at the same time, I got very, very lucky for the paralyzed to have even kicked in the first place. So, I mean, I basically got exactly what I deserved, and I didn't want the paralyzed affecting my Super Vegito. So, I popped my main ability, get rid of all this 13's buffs, and I knew the 17 was coming, I knew he was coming, but I decided to go for my ultimate ability anyway, just in case he decided not to, or just slipped on the chance, whatever the case may be. We used the ability and we got rid of the debuffs on us, and that's honestly all I was worried about. I thought I got rid of the debuffs, but apparently I didn't. So, well, I'm not really worried that we get rid of the 17, the 13, so that's not a problem. And now we've just got 1 unit left to deal with, and I'm not worried because we're type advantaged. And we have 2 cover rescue units in case he has a rush, which he does. So, unfortunately, I had to sacrifice Fusion Android 13 because, well, why wouldn't you? I'd rather keep my Super Android 17 because he's just still a beast. And he's got that ability to absorb key attacks. So, also, we've got Super Vegito. We had to save him as best we could, and I waited very nicely here. Thankfully, he went for a double tap attack, which saved me. And you'll notice these attacks, my strike cards are costing me 29 key each. And that's because I swapped out. Every time you swap out with your unit, when you're facing 17, he does additional damage. Or, sorry, not additional damage, sorry. He makes additional cost to your strike cards. Luckily, we get a nice little counter off there, and we do some seriously good damage. And if I had my other, my good equipment on, it would have done a lot better. But we still managed to get the win. So that was a really, really good game number 2 as well. So this team, it does come down to luck, but it does come down to strategic play. So if you've been keeping track of how many strike cards he's used, or your opponent's used, how many blast cards they've used, GG Ben, then this game can, well, this team can seriously do some damage. And for our third and final game of the video, guys, we come up against just a Saiyan team, really. And he's got that new Goku up at 4 stars. Luckily, we managed to bring in Super Vegito just in time for this attack. Do some really nice damage against this blue Goku. Just get myself some extra little buffs. Saw an attack was coming, so I decided to launch a key attack just in case. And I had a feeling something was coming, so just counter him with that blast card. Now, I know what this guy's tactic is, and it's a very good one. Let your Goku take some significant damage, because he was waiting for the double. You're not going to get me there. Let your Goku take some significant damage, because even if you lose your next 2 units, he's going to regain all that health back. So it was very smart of him. Now, unfortunately, he gets a perfect vanish, so I can't even remotely switch out to my swipe out of my attack. Now, I should have brought my 13 in there, because how the heck does he have a Rising Rush already? I would never, ever, ever, ever have guessed that he had a Rising Rush ready. I'm sure I got off a lot more attacks than he did, so he must have literally used 7 cards and just gotten a Dragon Ball on every single one of them. And that really annoys me, but hey, it's the name of the game, it happens, and unfortunately, we already lose a unit, and thankfully that unit is Android 13, so I'm not worried, because we're doing some seriously good damage against that red Goku, and I knew Vegito was coming, and this guy made a serious error. If I were him, I think I genuinely might have let the red Goku go, because, well, guess what's coming your way now, Super Vegito, and yes, you will just lose. There you go, he lost. Ha! So, yeah, that was probably cringe for so many people, but I don't care. Now, I would have let the Goku go because the Vegito would have done so much more for this team on his part, because I had Super 17 left, and he had to deal with him if he had any hope for the blue Goku. But anyway, we thankfully managed to take out the red Goku anyway. So, this game was pretty much soloed by Vegito. So, I don't know why he decided to go for a card knowing that I had that card and not any vanish, so he would have done a lot better knowing, or a lot better taking a chance of just waiting. But there we go, we end off with Super 17's blue card because it can't be evaded, and you just wanted him because it is kind of his showcase as well. So this guy really works. This whole fusion team of Super Fuse 13, Super 17 and Vegito works so damn well. It does come down to a bit of luck. I mean, such does the game of Legends. So, if you guys decide to give this team a try, let me know down in the comments or on Twitter or whatever. Let me know how it goes for you. And if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.